statistic and probability. Mean, variance, and standard deviation using the central limit theorem. Central limit theorem: as the sample size n increases, the sampling distribution of the means approaches a normal distribution. The mean of the sampling distribution of means is equal to the mean of the population. So, kung ano yung mean of population natin is siya ding mean of sample mean natin. So, hindi magbabago yun. Next is the variance of the sampling distribution of means is equal to the variance of the population divided by the sample size, which is the n. So, this is the formula. So, to get the variance of the sampling distribution, ito yung ating term. So, we will divide the variance of the population over the sample size. For the standard deviation, the sampling distribution of means is equal to the standard deviation of the population divided by the square root of the sample size n. So, to get the variance of the sample or the sampling distribution of mean, we will divide the variance of the population over the square root of sample size. So, titignan natin yung mga term natin. So, kapag meron tayong, ayun, yung bar x dito, this means that this is the standard deviation of sample mean. And this one naman is the variance of the sample mean. Pag wala tayong bar x, which is katulad nito, this is only the variance of the population. And this one is the standard deviation of the population. So, to further understand, paano ba natin to gagamitin? So, mostly ginagamit ito if the given in the problem is meron na siyang mean, variance, and standard deviation. So, given na siya. So, to further understand, let's proceed sa ating example. So, example number 1 is sample size n is equal to 4 were randomly selected from population with mean 4.6 and variance is equal to 4. So, what are we going to do is to find the mean and the standard deviation of the sampling distribution of the mean. So, kung nakikita nyo dito, we have the given size 4, the mean of the population 4.6, and the variance of which is 4. And hahanapin natin yung mean and the standard deviation ng ating sampling distribution. So, now we have here the table, the mean and the standard deviation. So, first is we're going to find the mean. So, to find the mean, this is the formula. Mean of the sample mean is equal to the mean of the population. So, since the mean of the sampling distribution of mean is equal to the mean of the population, so kung ano yung mean ng population natin, yun din yung mean ng ating sampling distribution. That's why the mean of the sample mean is equal to 4.6. So, hindi siya nagbago. So, next is to get the standard deviation of the sampling distribution. So, to get the standard deviation of the sampling distribution, ito yung gagamitin natin. So, standard deviation tayo, kaya yung term natin is standard deviation of the sample mean is equal to the standard deviation of the population over or divided by the square root of n. So, first is, let's identify what is our standard deviation. So, sa given natin, wala tayong standard deviation. So, variance lang yung meron tayo. Since variance ang meron tayo, so we need to get the standard deviation of the population. So, paano ba natin kinukuha yung standard deviation ng ating population? So, since the variance is equal to 4, so then the value of the standard deviation is 2. So, kinukuha natin yung ating variance by square root of the variance. O, kinukuha natin standard deviation by square root of the variance. So, ang gagawin natin is substitute lang natin yung value ng ating variance doon sa loob ng ating radical. So, variance is equal to square root of 4. And square root of 4 is equal to 2. So, kaya nakuha natin yung ating standard deviation na 2. Since meron na tayong standard deviation na 2, we can proceed to the formula. So, yung formula natin is standard deviation of the sample mean is equal to standard deviation of the population over square root of n. So, meron na tayong variance, sinubstitute na natin siya. So, 2 over square root of 4. Saan nakuha yung 4? So, nakuha natin yung 4 dahil yung n is equal to the sample size. So, ito yung sample size natin na n, which is 4. So, pag sinolve natin siya, so 2 over square root of 4 is equal to 1. Bakit siya 1? So, kung titignan natin yung radical natin, what is the square root of 4? So, square root of 4 is equal to 2. So, that's why 2 over 2 is equal to 1. So, therefore, the standard deviation of the population or the sampling distribution of mean is equal to 1. So, ngayon, nahanap na natin yung mean and standard deviation ng sampling distribution natin. So, the mean of the sampling distribution is 4.6 and the standard deviation is 1. So, ganito siya. Ganito lang yung way paano, yung process paano kunin yung mean and standard deviation ng sampling distribution natin. So, if ang hinahanap naman natin is standard deviation, so, madali lang siya. So, ang gagamitin natin is yung variance ng ating sampling distribution. So, let's proceed to another example. So, example number 2. Sample of size n is equal to 2 were randomly selected from the population with mean of the sample mean is equal to 3 and the standard deviation of the sampling distribution of the mean is equal to 1.8. So, yung given natin ngayon dito, we have the n which is 2 and then yung mean of the sample mean natin is 3. So, yung given natin dito is the sampling distribution, hindi siya sa population. So, the standard deviation of the sample mean is equal to 1.8. Ito rin ay from the sampling distribution, hindi siya population. So now, we're going to find the mean and the variance of the population where the sampling distribution is derived. So ngayon, ang given natin is sampling distribution and then we are going to find the mean and the variance of the population. So kanina, ang hinanap natin is sampling distribution. Ngayon, yung population naman yung hahanapin natin. So to find the mean and the variance of the population, gagamitin pa din natin yung formulas ng ating central limit theorem. So we have here another table, the mean and the variance, dahil ito yung hinahanap natin. So sa mean is, mean of the sample mean is equal to the mean of the population. Since ang hinahanap natin is eto, itong mean of population natin, yan. So, eto yung hinahanap natin, mean of the population, and yung given natin is sa mean of sample mean is equal to 3. So, isa-substitute natin yung mean natin or mean of the sample mean dito sa ating mean of the sample mean. So, that's why ang ating mean is the mean of the sampling distribution mean is equal to the mean of the population. Therefore, the mean of the population is 3. So, ayan. So, take note, kapag ang given natin is mean of the sample mean, isa-substitute natin siya doon sa term natin ng mean of the sample mean. Hindi dito sa ating mean of the population. So, next is, so meron na tayong mean. Next is the variance. So, to get the variance of the population, gagamitin pa din natin yung ating formula sa ating central limit theorem. So, kung nakikita nyo, meron tayo ditong variance. So, pag may nakita kayo ditong sa formula na variance of the population, yun yung gagamitin nyo. So, since we have here the variance of the population, ito yung formula na gagamitin natin. Hindi pwede yung isa dahil standard deviation ang nakalagay doon. So, since this is the formula, we are going to find the variance of the population. So, to get the variance of the population, we need the n and the variance of the sample mean. So, sa ating problem, ang given natin dito is the standard deviation of the sampling distribution or the standard deviation of the sample mean. So, wala tayong variance of the sample mean. So, ngayon, ang kukuhanin natin is the variance of the sample mean. Paano ba natin makukuha yung variance of the sample mean? So, we have here the formula. So, to get the variance of the sample mean, yan, we will square the standard deviation of the sample mean. So, i-square lang natin yung ating standard deviation. So, 1.8 squared. So, 1.8 nakuha natin sa standard deviation. So, variance of the sample mean is equal to 1.8 squared and 1.8 times 1.8 is equal to 3.8. So the variance of the sample mean is equal to 3.24. Since meron na tayong variance of the sample mean, pwede na natin siyang i-substitute. So substitute natin yung variance of the sample mean and the n, the sample size. So 3.24 is equal to the variance of the population over 2. So paano ba yung gagawin natin dito to get the variance of the population? So kapag ganito yung ating problem, o ganito yung ating equation, we will cross multiply. So pag nag-cross multiply tayo, so 3.24 times 2 is equal to 6.48. And then variance times 1, dahil ito po ay automatic na may denominator na 1. So variance times 1 is equal to variance. So therefore, the answer is 6.48. So, yung variance natin is 6.48. So, therefore, the variance of the population, so population po yan ha, is equal to 6.48. So, ganun lang po sa paghahanap ng ating mean, variance, and standard deviation ng ating population and also sa ating sampling distribution.